As usual, it's very hard to maintain consistency when we need to improve our skill in learning English. But yeah, I still try. It kind of like 1,000 years. I don't make this video anymore, and it's very nice today. You know that I have like mixed feelings about past few days about many things about what thing I learned in a scholarship, and then about my interview in another scholarship, and then there are some competitions that I want to join, but in my opinion it's very hard to become a winner in that competitions because it's kind of very tired competition, is challenging, and you know that the people who um, want to become a winner in that competition very, very what is not as not only a skillful but also have many experience in writing. So I feel insecure, but still I want to try because you know that I want to learn more about this, and the most important is I want to make a relation to the people who work in the publishing companies and related into these publishing worlds, because I don't have links into that kind of people, those people, and so I should make sure that I have a good skill that people can notice me, and then you know that I probably make contact and some relations with them. And I don't really sure what I want to share today, but it's the morning. Usually I have a class around 7 in the morning. It's quite early and it's very nice actually, but today start from yesterday actually, that I don't have a class in the 7 morning anymore. Instead I had in the 8:30, which is something that's great, but I'm not really sure how to manage my time because yeah, it's quite uneasy for me to manage that, because for some reason that I think that I don't need to share. Okay, I want to share with you one of my book that I didn't review yet, but I hope that I would in the near future about this book, Tak Pudar oleh Era. This is well, I don't know. This is probably the fifth book that I wrote. It's not. I'm only the writer of the book, as you can see it, but I'm one of the writer, and I sent my short story, into a publisher a few months ago, and luckily, I'm very lucky that I become the second winner in the competition of short story, and you know that I need to eliminate like more than 300 people to become a winner, and I feel great because even though I'm not the first, but I still it bec- in the seconds to 300 and something is just kind of something achievement for me because I never experienced it before. And not only in the short story categories, I'm also become a second winner in the poetry categories, which is great. And a few months ago, I won short story competition too, and in the third position, which is great, and I love it. So yeah, I think I had some improvement this year in terms of make a story. Even though the money I get from I don't get any money actually, but still I feel that it is something great to win this kind of competition. And yeah, I can understand that the people who make this competition, because it's because they love to literacy word, so they didn't have much money to give a reward for us who wins the competition, but it's okay, I guess, because their dedication in this literacy awards need to appreciate, and I love it. So I'm very enjoy to join this kind of competition again. Like probably if you notice there are some, yeah, here you can see that there's some paper on the wall, and this is some that list of the competition that I want to follow in the near future. But I didn't even make a single story yet. But yeah, I struggle to mapping my idea how what kind of story that I want to write. But yeah, I have some ideas, but it's not the complete yet. But still, I need to prepare it better before I to start writing. But I hope that I start writing tomorrow at least. Like 500 words for a start, and then because writing for me is something like a river. It's very flow. First, you don't have any clear idea what the story wants to go, and then you don't have any clear idea how big, how long the story will be. It just you follow the flow, and then you just feel happy with the characters and other parts of the story that you become more related, and that making the story become more easier. And this is the nice part of the story, that when complete the story, when you finish the story, when the story come to end, and you just feel that I don't know how to express it properly in words, but it just feels that something amusing, the enjoyment, and that it feels something relaxed, because after you have this big thoughts, heart feeling, want to share, and then you can share it with your best friends or your relatives that very close, and after that you just feel relaxed, and after you have this problem, and that's not in your shoulder anymore, and because you already share it to anyone. This is what I feel when I finish a story. It is that the story in my thoughts is already become eternal, because I will never forget it, even though I forget it, still there are story in the paper, or at least in the file of my laptop, even though I'm not published the story, but still I feel enjoyment, amuses. And yeah, um there are, well, beside the stories, there are things that I want to share. Probably about my speaking class. It's very nice to have Mr. Brian. I love you, Mr. Brian. It's nice. And then, yeah, he's very good in terms of speaking, because you know that it's very nice, even though I think it's not very effective to have the 14 students in the class and one teachers, because you know that speaking needs practice a lot, and we have a limit time there in the class, and you know that he need to give all his attention to any students, but it's consume much time and make the class become less enjoyment as it should be. But still, we have some we not yeah we have some homework to do to practice our skill, but still it's only around 2 minutes, like speaking IELTS, but I want something more than this. So this is why I just start this making kind of video more than 20 minutes, right? Because I want to practice more in speaking, and because that I have a problem that my speaking not very well, even though my tutor said that I had good lexical results, but still I very insecure in a class, because they are very well in speaking and they sounds very good. It's very different with me. I don't know. I just feel that I always have this harsh sounds since I was young and still until today. But just because it is part of my life, just still I need to accept it, right? And also my intonation. There are many complaints about it, not only from my tutor but also from my fellow friends. They said that too flat when speaking, and I think they're right, because I realize it, and But for me, it's very hard to push myself immerse into the more emotions in my voice and my tones when speaking because I'm not really used to it. But I think when I relax, more relaxed and enjoy speaking, I become less, that less confused, and then I can look into the eyes of my friends in front of me, so I will make a better speakers. But I'm not really sure I'm a good speaker because I'm always better in listens. This is from people I heard when they talk about myself, and I believe it because this is what I thought, what I think about me. Okay, what I want to share is about the topic of the story that we learned today in the speaking class with Mr. Brian. We talking and about the activities that we do in to practice in a speaking IELTS part 2, which is about presentations. So I have assignment to give a presentations about a journey, my recent journey, and it's not really good because I just make up the story because I didn't have any journey last few days or weeks, so I made up the story about my journey went to Europe. Of course, I never going to abroad before, but still I told about Paris and of course Netherlands and then Berlin. Well, this is what I want to share the story about the city and my opinions about the city because it's a basic on my only opinion. Will never visit that place, so it's not it's not a become a fact or true. It's just that what I saw from television or internet. Well, we started from Paris. My father always told me that the Paris is the most beautiful city in the world, but today I don't think it is the case because we look into the Paris and saw many problems there, from rubbish and then criminals, robbery, and all that social problem in that city, and the people who travel in the Paris complains about it a lot, and even Japanese people have their own term about visiting Paris, which is called Paris syndrome, if I'm not mistaken. But if I mistake about it, please corrects me, and I'm very fully sorry about it. Yeah, I think the image of Paris nowadays become different with their image in the last decades, which is not a good improvement in that city. And another city that I want to share is Amsterdam in Netherlands. And I heard in the social media that people, even the Netherlanders itself, complains a lot about the cost living in that city because Amsterdam very popular in the Europe and even in the world because it's very beautiful, but somehow it's very expensive too. So only a millionaire or billionaire can live in that place. Is particularly in the town, in the center. So people who have less money should live out of the city into the suburbs. I think it's not only problem with the Amsterdam, but it's very noticed in the Amsterdam. But the problem also happens around the world, which is we can see it that our inequality gap between the rich people and the poor and someone who had these advantages become bigger and bigger every year, which is not very great to our that our life, people's life as general. And then another city is Berlin. I don't know that I But I listens one of YouTuber who live in the Berlin said that Berlin is kind of the most dirty city in Europe. But I don't know whether it's more cleaner when compared to Paris. But still, I believe that even though Berlin is the most dirty city in the Europe, it's still better than a city in Indonesia because we need to improve more about our that our rubbish stuff. So yeah, still it's become clean when it compared to Indonesian city. And then we had a city, another city in Europe is Barcelona. And when I think people in Spain's life become harder past few years. This is what I saw from a documentary movie because people there struggle a lot for their daily living. Mostly the farmers because you know that the competition become very harsh between the family farmers and the corporations. So people very struggle, but I don't have any clue live in Barcelona, but I think it's not that different where when we compare into the city like Madrid or Lisbon and probably the city in Italy. And then yeah, in the Italy that what I saw from the internet that the conservatives quite rising there. So there are more political stories that I heard from Italy because the new, I don't know whether they call it president or prime minister, but she is from a conservative party. This is what, if I'm not mistaken, right? And people quite argue about it because you know that she is kind of want to stop immigration and something like that. And also there are many cities that I want to share. But even though I don't really have any clear idea about the city, there are also some interesting city is Dublin in Europe. If I had the chance to travel in the Europe, probably the Dublin is the city that I want to visit because I'm very related to the folk songs of Ireland because they're having many good songs and I love to hear this song. So, but I know that because Ireland is not part of Schengen's visa, even Schengen visa is very hard to acquire because you need a lot of money and another many document and something like that. But Ireland don't include in this Schengen visa, make it become harder to go into the Dublin as particularly for someone like me who don't have enough money even to sustain daily life because I don't have works and I just take my course first few months and I don't make any money and I just feel useless at that moment but still is like need to be going on and okay, it's very hard to share it. Okay, I don't know what the another stories that I want to share, but it's very nice that I start make this video again, even though I don't consistent, but still that I hope that I make many updates and share into the YouTube account even no one listen, but still I feel grateful that I share some of my thoughts and that's probably some of my plans in the future. Even though I will never achieve a planning that as I expected, but still that I won't become a grateful that I still alive and young and even though I don't feel young anymore but still that I love my life very much even though I not fully love it but still yeah there are many problems in our life of course but still yeah I just feel grateful and I hope that everything will be better soon my friendship my relationship with family and also my love story because I have that mixed feeling about it like lately but I'm not really aware to share it with anyone but I'm sorry for it but yeah, it's already more than 20 minutes. It's very nice to share it with you. But actually, that I still many things that I want to talking, but how to express it in English is not very well in that. But still, that I feel that very relaxed after to speak this English because it's that make me become to make the words my improvements in speaking because I need to speaking not